Greetings YouTube and welcome to my next weapons build. I have a super simple build plan today. I picked this up at Goodwill for $2. It's aluminum, so it's not high impact. However, I'm going to set it all the way in to this. So I'm going to put this here will be at the bottom, and this roughly right here is the width. So this section in here, I'm going to have to probably, I'm going to have to bring down slightly in diameter so I can get this to fit inside of the of this. So I guess it's a vase, and I've overestimated the length. So I'd rather be. Again, you can always cut more off. You can't add. So I'm going to cut this off here, and I picked this particular handle up, a tool handle here, at an estate sale, and I don't know, I probably paid 50 cents for it, so it's low tech. I'm going to be using my vise here with the plumber's. I have a plumber's vise here. It's designed for holding pipes and things. I'm going to be using this piece of leather to grip the shaft so that I'm not doing overly damage to it. Though I will be gripping it up here and not here on this down section where I want to eventually have the where you'll be swinging it. But there's always this possibility that I can use this section of wood for something else in the future, so I don't want to chew it up if I don't have to. It's already got, kind of weather on it already because it's a very old handle, and I like that. I like that vibe. We're going for a post-apocalyptic aesthetic. So I'm gonna put this in the vise, and then we're gonna cut this with a handsaw. And I actually think I want to see if I can get a quote-unquote action shot of that because it's not all that interesting. But you'll get to see how it's done. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to be putting this in here, find my mark so I know where it is. I want to be fairly close to the mark, but not too close to the mark. There we go. Maximum stability. There we go, that is not going anywhere. And I'll be using a Marple's pull to cut saw. This is essentially its American version of a Japanese saw. I happen to really like these things. I also have an Irwin small one. This is finer tooth for more delicate cuts I need to do, more precision. I've used this one in fact on the Hexadent shaft that I did not long ago on this channel. So we're just going to come in here like this. Out of the way. Go. And we get a nice cut on these things. I happen to really like these saws. This thing isn't. I can't tell how many teeth on this one. I've worn it off over time. It's like we use this fairly frequently. This is a Japanese. Actually, well, it's made in Japan. My mistake. It's not American made. It is Japanese. How do you like that? So this is now going to go into the scrap pile for potential use in a future project. Who knows? It's not in the best shape, but you could possibly use it for a flail head. That might work. Put some nubs on it. Or use it to carry a piece of pipe. If I wanted to put a thin piece of pipe on here, like conduit or something, just make a nice filler for that. Who knows? That's just going to end up for another project. So now we've got this one, and this is not going to fit in there. That is just too darn big. So my goal now is to reduce the diameter of that so that I can need to put this roughly where I want it. So, and what I need to do is find my pen, find my pencil. I need to give myself a rough idea of where the throat on that is, because since I want to reduce the diameter of the overall shaft, I need to know where I'm going to start on that. So we're going to put a mark on there. It doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be perfect. So what I'm probably going to use on this puppy is this just little Stanley hand plane, which I happen to really be quite fond of. And I don't even remember where I bought this. It might have been at an estate sale, but I didn't pay much for it. And it was not in the best of, the blade was not in the best of shape when I got it. And I'll probably terrify woodworkers out there that I free-handed this on a sharpening jig that has a work sharp, I think it is. Work sharp's got a little triangular shaped belt on it. Yeah, I just free-handed that, and it works quite nicely. Alrighty, so this is going to be particularly interesting. It's going to be a matter of me coming like this, and then just going, and that a lot, until I take out just enough to fit this on there snugly. So obviously I'm not going to get there yet, but you get the point. So I'm going to be doing that, rotating it, doing it again, rotating it. I mean, this would be awesome if I had a lathe. I don't have a lathe, so I got to make it do. And I'm trying to do this with nothing but hand tools, again, to show that this kind of project is a low threshold. You could also do this with sanding paper if you want to. Just grab some sandpaper and come around like that. But I don't really like doing that. I'd rather use tools like this. Makes me happier. Alrighty, so I'm going to do that a whole bunch more, and when we're done, we're going. Hopefully, we'll have a nice snug fit. Alrighty, so I have the this thing brought down. You can see these marks on here. I literally had to screw this thing off to get it off, which is exactly how tight I want it. I want this as snug as possible. And so I have used one of these, which is just a center finder, and this is a cheap one. I think I picked this up at Harbor Freight, and it comes with a number of other attachments. This is just the one I happen to use the most. When it comes to making right angle marks, I tend to use this lovely little Empire that I picked up, which is not only a great little square, it's got a 45 degree on here, and it even comes with its own scribe, which I think is really darn cool. I love this thing. I use it all the time. But this is a cheap center finder, and I'm all set. Though I have recently discovered that there's such a thing as an optical punch, which is a punch you literally, you put it in place, you put an optical crystal in there, which you then find, which then helps find the mark you've made. You move the crystal out with holding the base in place, you put a punch in the center, and you go boop, and it puts a mark exactly where you want it. I definitely have to own an optical center punch at some point. I don't own one now. I'm just using this one right here, which which is just a spring loaded, which I happen to like. You just hold it on there, snap, and you got a mark. I find this to be very useful because you can really hold it like this firmly, and then you got a mark. So now I got a mark on my table, but I don't really care about that. This is just plywood, and if I want to, I can flip it over and reuse the other side. That's one of the reasons I bought it. So now I need to drill a hole in this. Now I'm going to figure out what size fastener I'm going to use for the next stage. I don't know what that next fastener is going to be yet, so I have to poke around my shop and figure out what I want to use for a fastener, see what I have available to myself. And once I figure out what that's going to be, then I need to drill a hole that is the correct size. Now obviously this being aluminum, you could just hold this and drill a hole. I'm probably going to use my drill press just because I have a drill press. It's very handy and it's very safe. Because I don't really want to put this into a vise because it is aluminum. So if you clamp on it too hard, you have the potential of damaging it. Like this, if I clamp on it too hard, I might leave a couple of marks, but I'm not going to crush it. It's wood. This you could potentially crush in a way that you don't want to. I want to have this thing looking relatively decent when I'm finished, even if it is just going to be a very simple kind of mace here. Nothing to, all that exciting, but I still kind of like the design. And, ooh, I got some sticky stuff on there from the sticker. Should get that off there. Yeah, that's one of the things that the stickers that Goodwill uses are tenacious, man. They really are. They're hard to get off, and then they linger forever. Alrighty, so Gonna drill a hole, then I have to remount this, and once I get it mounted and centered, then I'm gonna drill a pilot hole if I have to. If I find a self-tapping fastener, I won't have to drill a pilot hole. So next step, hopefully you'll come back, this will be mounted, and we'll be ready to put a fastener on it. Okay, so I drilled this with a 7/32 hole because I found this fastener. It's a star drive wood bit, wood screw. I have absolutely no idea. I believe it's a decking screw because it's got a coarse thread here and a fine thread here. I'm not 100% sure on that. I only had one in my fastener case, so I don't have any clue where I got this from, but I got it, so I'm going to use it because it should work in this particular application quite well. And I'm going to try going in there with it without any pilot hole because that will give me the snuggest fit. Now, because this is a flute, and I would like it to sit as to not bell that on me, I'm going to be using one of these, which is a finishing washer. So it's a washer, but it's got a divot because it's really designed to hold a bugle-headed style wood screw. So they go like this. I should probably have a number 10 on this one, but I don't have a number 10. So like that, and that will then pull it in, and it will go on the outside of that hole to snug it up. So that's how it's going to work. So now we're just going to put that thing in there like that. I want to give it a little bit of a tap with that. Make sure I got my driver in the right direction. This is a T25 bit. It is going in. Oh, this is getting really stiff really fast. I'd be better off with a ratchet, a better quality ratchet on this thing. That's an excellent question. That's an excellent question. I have a solution. I have a solution to that problem, however. Give me a second, and I'll show you what that solution is. I need the adapter. I need a different driving head. All right. So what do I need? Alrighty, so I need this. And then I need something I actually haven't had an opportunity to use yet, which is a snap-on, very tiny ratchet. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to try that. And I picked this particular, no, that's the wrong way, James. I picked this particular one up literally for nothing. It was offered for free on Craigslist, so I took advantage of that offer. In fact, it was part of an entire socket set, which I got for nothing, because I had been looking for a small socket set for my shop. It's a junky one, because down here I can occasionally be harsh on my tools. I didn't want to have a really good quality one down here, because again, I can be harsh on my tools when it comes to making projects. And that is not going anywhere. This is a nice little ratchet. I never used a snap-on this small. I have a couple of other snap-ons in my collections. I have a 3/8 and a half inch in my collection, but this is a 1/4 inch. Oops. I forgot to push the button. Snap-on has a button on it so they don't fall off. So yeah, so there you go. That's fully mounted. I love this vise, by the way. Picked it up at an estate sale for $25. $25 for this. Awesome price. So there you go. It's not 100% perfect because the whole thing is not 100% perfect, but it is a nice overall shape, and I can actually wield this quite nicely with one hand, though it also could be used with two hands. It is obviously more of an aesthetic than something you're going to want to actually use because it is just aluminum, but it still looks cool. And if you ever wanted to do like post-apocalyptic kind of vibe or cosplay, this is kind of thing is right up the alley when it comes to that kind of a situation. So yeah, very happy with this nice little simple design. Again, using nothing but very simple hand tools. Again, you could have done with this with a hand drill. I just used a drill press because it's right there. And you should all have a decent set of drill bits. You should have yourself a decent hand drill. Other drivers and things like this, they're all things that you should have in your basic tool kit. But this has been a very simple build. Nothing all that exciting, but I still like the way it came out, and the materials were very cheap. I mean, $2, about 75 cents. The fastener was free, and I don't have any clue where I got it from, so it could have been found for all I know. But yeah, absolutely quick, dirty, whole thing done in no time at all, and I'm quite happy with the results. So thank you for being here for this very, very simple build, and again, an example of that you can build these kind of things with a very low skill and equipment threshold. If you don't follow me on DeviantArt and Instagram, you should. Instagram is where I post strange things that I find, bargains, salvage, as well as sneak previews occasionally. Of course, cute cat pictures. Who doesn't love cute cat pictures? And DeviantArt is the permanent home of the stills of my builds that I post and keep as a repository. So, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope that you'll come back for the next time.